If you are hearing these words right now, this moment was not random, and it was not accidental. It has been deliberately arranged as a sacred interruption between your exhausted heart and the steady voice of God. This message arrives because something in you has been quietly breaking under the weight of trying for too long without seeing change, carrying responsibilities that never felt like they were truly yours, waking up each day with the same questions and the same pressure, while wondering if anything is actually moving. There has been a tiredness deeper than sleep, a weariness that comes from effort without reward, prayers whispered without answers, and a future that feels heavy instead of hopeful. God sees the loop you feel trapped in, the financial strain, the mental load, the silent comparison, the moments where you questioned whether your life was stalled or whether you yourself were somehow lacking. This is not a message of accusation or urgency. It is recognition. You are not imagining the exhaustion. You are not weak for feeling it. You have been strong longer than most people will ever understand. Scripture has already spoken into this place, saying, "The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit." Psalm 34:18. And again, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28. These words are not distant promises. They are confirmations that what you feel has been seen and named. Some of you are still listening because something in your life is quietly collapsing, and deep down, your spirit already knows it had to. What's coming cannot fit into the life you were living yesterday. And now hear this clearly, without fear or confusion. The difficult season is closing, the pressure is lifting, and a divine shift has already begun beneath the surface, even if your circumstances have not caught up yet. God is not finished, delayed, or reconsidering your life. What has been forming quietly is moving closer, and what has felt stuck is preparing to turn. There is relief ahead, reassurance unfolding, and something new approaching that will make sense of this waiting. Stay here, because what comes next will confirm what your spirit has already been sensing and unlock what has been held back until this exact moment. Chosen one, hear this with clarity and tenderness, because strength in the kingdom has never looked like noise, applause, or spiritual performance. It has always looked like endurance forged in secret places where only God was watching. The strongest among the chosen are not crowned by visibility but by survival, by the quiet ability to keep standing after life has tried repeatedly to hollow them out, by the refusal of their spirit to harden even when their heart was cracked open more times than they can count. You were not shaped in comfort, you were trained in fire, and that is why your sensitivity runs deep, why your discernment cuts sharp, why you have always felt out of step with the world around you, even when you tried to blend in. There was a knowing inside you from early on that your life would not be simple or small, and while others moved easily through shallow waters, you were asked to swim depths that had no language yet. People may have labeled you intense, distant, too serious, too emotional, not realizing that what they were seeing was spiritual awareness, waking up before its time. The strongest chosen often carry burdens they never volunteered for, sensing fractures in family lines, heaviness in rooms, contradictions in people's words, grief without a clear cause, because their assignment requires an ear tuned to the unseen. Scripture has already spoken over this kind of life, saying, "But the Lord said to Samuel, do not look on his appearance or on the height of his stature, for the Lord sees not as man sees. 1 Samuel 16-7, and again, He trains my hands for war, so that my arms can bend a bow of bronze. Psalm 18:34. These words mirror your story without needing explanation. Think of David, anointed in private while still overlooked in the field, called long before the crown ever appeared, trained through isolation, betrayal, and pursuit, learning intimacy with God in caves before authority in public, because heaven trusted him with weight others could not yet carry. The strongest chosen are filtered through rejection, not to wound them, but to keep them unshaped by voices that would have diminished their calling. Doors closing not as punishment, but as preservation. Relationships falling away because their spirit could not afford contamination. And here is where the veil lifts and the pattern becomes unmistakable, because every time you survived what should have ended you, every time you rose after thinking this was finally the breaking point, every time conviction pulled you back when compromise tried to settle in, heaven was confirming your rank, not condemning you. The strictness you felt was not harshness, it was protection over an investment too costly to waste. Loneliness was not abandonment, it was training in hearing God without static. Compassion remained alive in you even after betrayal, because the strongest chosen are trusted to carry mercy without losing discernment. People are drawn to your steadiness, your silence, your presence, sensing safety they cannot name, because the Spirit resting on you stabilizes rooms before you speak. You have wrestled with a restlessness that money, distraction, or routine could never satisfy, not because you are ungrateful, but because calling always creates hunger for alignment. Pause here for a breath, because this truth needs space to settle slowly and without resistance. You were never failing at life. You were being trained for impact. Do not measure yourself by applause or comparison, because spiritual rank is revealed in endurance, obedience, and unseen influence. Your battles were classrooms, your tears were oil, your difference has always been evidence. From this moment forward, allow the word strong to mean what heaven means by it, not unbreakable, but faithful, not loud, but rooted, not admired, but entrusted. Chosen one, receive this truth gently but firmly, because what you have been sensing is not imagination, it is recognition, the quiet knowing that your life is threaded into something older, deeper, and far more intentional than coincidence could ever explain. The way certain words seem to follow you, the way moments line up too precisely, the way your spirit reacts before your mind can reason, this is prophecy breathing close to your life, not as a distant promise, but as a present reality unfolding in real time. Long before you named your struggles, heaven already knew their purpose, and long before you felt the ache of waiting, your name was already written into a divine timeline, just as it is written, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I consecrated you." Jeremiah 1-5. You have lived with a strange rhythm, delays that protected you even when they frustrated you, interruptions that redirected you when you tried to settle, restlessness that would not let you shrink into comfort. And every time you attempted to live smaller than what was inside you, life itself resisted, not to punish you, but to preserve what was spoken over you. Think of Esther, hidden in obscurity, carried into a palace without knowing the reason, only to discover later that her positioning was never about comfort but timing, because deliverance required someone already standing in the right place when the moment arrived. Your story carries that same weight, because prophecy does not rush, it prepares, and it does not shout, it waits for alignment. And here is the moment to slow your breathing and allow your spirit to settle, because this realization is not meant to rush through you, but to anchor deeply, to soften the years of confusion into clarity, to quiet the question of whether your life has meaning into the knowing that it does. Many of the battles you faced were not personal but generational, patterns that waited until someone strong enough would rise and refuse to continue them. And often, that someone is the one who feels most out of place, most sensitive, most aware, because prophetic callings disturb environments that thrive on numbness. Scripture has already affirmed this movement of time and fulfillment, saying, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come." Habakkuk 2-3. And that waiting you endured was not absence, but alignment. Now understand this as the next layer unfolds. What you are feeling now is not anxiety, but activation, not pressure, but proximity, because prophecy moves differently when it shifts from promise into motion. You notice that what once felt tolerable now feels heavy. What once distracted you now feels empty. What once delayed you now no longer has permission. And this is because the word over your life is asking for agreement, not effort, awareness, not striving. You were never meant to chase fulfillment. You were meant to recognize it arriving. The signs that repeat are not superstition, they are confirmation. Gentle taps reminding you that heaven has not forgotten, that timing is not random, that your path is watched with care. Fulfillment will not look the same for every chosen one, and yours does not need to resemble anyone else's to be valid, because faithfulness carries weight whether it is seen or hidden. One day, without warning, the pieces will align, and what confused you will clarify, what wounded you will strengthen you, and what delayed you will make sense, because nothing in your life was wasted. The prophecy is not waiting in some distant future. It is unfolding now with every aligned step, every surrendered moment, every time you choose truth over fear. Stay present, stay teachable, stay near the voice that has been guiding you quietly all along, because what you are about to hear next will unlock why the fire you survived was necessary and why your battles were heavier than most. What unsettles you right now is not fear, it's recognition. Chosen one, hear this with a steady heart, because the part of you that is exhausted yet still standing has carried questions it never spoke out loud, wondering why your life has felt heavier, why obedience seemed to invite storms instead of ease, and why doing your best still led you through fire while others moved carelessly and appeared untouched. And this is not because something is wrong with you, but because something powerful has been entrusted to you. You were not shaped in comfort, you were refined in pressure, and Scripture confirms this quiet truth, saying, "For you, O God, have tested us. You have tried us as silver is tried." Psalm 66:10, meaning the heat was never random, it was purposeful, measured, and watched. From an early age, you sensed battles you could not name, feeling unsafe in places others laughed freely, waking from dreams that left weight on your chest, learning endurance before you learned language. And that early warfare was not cruelty, but calling, because often the one chosen to end cycles is born directly into them. Look at Hannah, mocked for her barrenness, misunderstood in the temple, pouring out silent tears that others misjudged. Yet those hidden prayers gave birth to Samuel, a voice that would shift a nation. And in the same way, your private pain has been preparing a public impact. Now allow yourself a long breath here, because this moment is not meant to rush past you, but to settle deeply and soften the shame you carried for struggling. To let your shoulders drop as you realize that the fire did not mean you were failing. It meant you were being trusted. Your relationships carried sharp lessons, betrayals that taught discernment. Love poured into places that could not return it, and those fractures trained your spirit to recognize truth beneath words and alignment beneath affection. Your finances felt under siege, delays draining energy, provision arriving just in time, never early, never excessive, teaching you dependence without explaining why. Yet even this is witnessed in the promise: when you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. Isaiah 43:2, because survival itself became evidence of covering. Then something shifted quietly, and here is the turn you may not have named yet, because over time the fire changed you, sharpened your sight, strengthened your backbone, reduced your tolerance for compromise, and trained you to pause where you once reacted. And this was not hardening, but wisdom forming. Your prayers matured, moving from escape to alignment, from relief to purpose, and that change marks strength, not resignation. People began to find you with their wounds, trusting you with secrets, sensing safety without explanation, because suffering carved room for compassion inside you without erasing your boundaries. This does not glorify pain, it redeems it, because the fire was never meant to consume you, but to reveal what could not be destroyed. And here is the transition that matters now, the moment where survival begins to give way to stewardship, where you are invited to see your battles not as delays but as credentials, proof that heaven has invested deeply in you. You are not behind, you are tempered, not broken, prepared rather than punished. And the intensity of what you endured speaks to the weight of what you are carrying forward. Lift your eyes gently and recognize the person you have become through it all, because your story is not ending in endurance, it is moving toward authority. And the strength you gained in the fire is exactly what will carry the mantle you are about to understand. Chosen one, you did not endure everything you survived just to return to a small, ordinary life that ignores the weight placed on your spirit, because there is a reason heaven preserved you when others were lost, and a reason your soul never fit comfortably inside systems that keep people asleep. You are not only chosen to withstand pressure, you are chosen to carry a mantle, a sacred responsibility that rests on you, whether you acknowledge it yet or not. And this responsibility was decided long before your pain ever began, even if it was only revealed to you gradually. A mantle is not applause, influence, or visibility. It is the quiet weight that keeps you awake when injustice goes unchecked, the ache you feel when families fracture, the holy frustration when truth is twisted, and the deep compassion that pulls you toward the wounded, even when you yourself are tired. Pause here for a moment and allow your body to soften as you realize that the burdens you have carried were never random, never excessive, never a sign of weakness, but evidence that something significant has been entrusted to you and protected through fire. Look at Esther, hidden in obscurity, shaped by loss, raised inside a system that could have destroyed her identity, yet positioned precisely so that when the moment came she could stand and save an entire people. And, in the same way, your seasons of hiding were not delays, but preparation for influence that could not arrive too early. What keeps stirring your heart is the clearest clue to your mission, because God often hides assignment inside compassion. If broken homes move you deeply, restoration may be written into your calling. If confusion and deception disturb your spirit, clarity and truth may be what you are meant to carry. If systems that exploit others make your chest tighten, reform and integrity may be part of what you are here to release. Scripture anchors this responsibility with calm authority when it says, "What does the Lord require of you but to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God?" Micah 6-8. Not as a burden, but as a way of being that aligns your life with purpose. And now hear this clearly as the path ahead sharpens into view and the weight you feel begins to make sense, because you are not permitted to live a self-centered life focused only on comfort, distraction, or survival. Since your days are meant to pour outward into others, sometimes quietly, sometimes visibly, always intentionally. This is why shrinking yourself never brought peace, why hiding dulled your joy, why fear and false humility have felt so heavy on you, because suppressing a mantle creates internal resistance that only alignment can release. Your mission will require discernment, boundaries, and courage, not perfection. And obedience will begin in small, unseen moments, long before anything public ever unfolds. You will feel seasons of separation as habits, environments, and relationships fall away. Not to punish you, but to make room for what can sustain the calling you carry. And when that happens, remember that you are a vessel, not the source, held by the same God who assigns and supplies. Chosen one, your life is not accidental, your pain is not wasted, your compassion is not weakness, and your presence carries weight in places you have not yet entered. Your mantle is real, your mission matters, and in the next moments ahead, you will begin to sense how urgently heaven is guiding the way you must now walk. Chosen one, hear this with clarity and steadiness, because this moment is not about comfort, but about alignment. And the weight you feel pressing on your spirit is not meant to crush you, but to awaken you to how carefully you are now required to walk. For Scripture has already spoken, "To whom much is given, much will be required." Luke 12:48. And this truth has been shaping your life long before you had language for it. You have noticed that what others can do casually leaves you uneasy, that environments once tolerated now drain you, that noise you once ignored now disrupts your peace. And this is not sensitivity gone too far. It is discernment sharpening, because the rank you carry does not allow careless movement anymore. Pause for a long breath here, letting your shoulders soften and your chest open, recognizing that this seriousness is not fear but responsibility settling into place, the kind that comes when heaven entrusts something precious and expects it to be guarded well. You are learning that atmosphere matters, that what surrounds you shapes what flows through you, and that protecting your inner world is not isolation but stewardship, because when your mind becomes cluttered and your spirit dulled, you feel it immediately, and that reaction is evidence that your spirit was designed to register danger early, There is a reason Daniel refused the king's table, even when it would have brought ease and acceptance, choosing restraint over indulgence until clarity and authority rested on him in a way others could not access. And in the same way, your calling requires discernment about what you consume, who you entertain, and where you linger. Not out of pride, but out of preservation. You have also felt the cost of counterfeit connections, how some relationships promise relief yet leave you confused, heavy, or diminished. And this is why your spirit has been trained to read fruit instead of words. Because not every open door is an assignment, and not every kind voice carries alignment. And as this truth settles into your bones and reframes your past experiences, understand that distraction has been one of the most subtle battles against you. Because if your fire cannot be extinguished, it can be slowly smothered through constant noise, endless motion, and diluted focus. Yet Scripture reminds you, "Be still and know that I am God." Psalm 46:10. Not as an escape, but as a return to power. You are also being taught to guard your words, because what you speak lingers in your atmosphere, and agreement with despair weakens what heaven is building, while quiet declarations of truth steady your steps even when emotions fluctuate. Your journey has shown you the cost of bitterness, how it tightens the chest and dulls the ear, and forgiveness has been presented to you not as approval of harm, but as release from carrying weight that does not belong to you anymore. You are learning restraint, learning rest, learning that tending to your body and honoring your limits is strategy rather than failure, because a vessel pushed past its design cracks under pressure. You have felt the temptation to chase visibility, to force doors, to hurry what is still forming, yet your spirit knows that depth precedes trust, and that anything gained before its time becomes a burden rather than a blessing. This is a season of holy attentiveness, where urgency does not mean panic, but responsiveness, where obedience is not delayed until certainty arrives, and where prayer becomes conversation rather than performance. These words are not meant to harden you, but to steady you, not to burden you, but to anchor you, because you are needed awake, present, and aligned, walking with reverence rather than fear, aware that the same God who marked you is committed to keeping you as you choose to stay close. Chosen one, spiritual games have quietly fallen away, and without drama or condemnation, you now sense that each step matters, each choice shapes your path, and each moment of alignment strengthens what has been entrusted to you, preparing you for what comes next as your spirit receives its final activation and blessing. Before anything else settles in, allow the pressure to lift right here, because you do not need to fix yourself, prove your worth, explain your journey, or carry one more invisible weight to be deserving of what God is already doing. This season begins not with effort, but with permission to pause, to breathe, to stop bracing for impact, and let your nervous system realize that you are safe in this moment. You are invited to start with alignment in the smallest way, not by changing your life, but by noticing where your body softens when you stop resisting the now, perhaps placing a hand over your chest for a few quiet seconds each morning and letting your breath slow naturally, not forcing peace, but allowing it to find you. From there, rest becomes an act of trust rather than escape, and rest can look very ordinary, like choosing to sit in silence for 2 minutes before reaching for your phone, or letting yourself lie down without mentally rehearsing everything you still think you should be doing, trusting that nothing meant for you will miss you because you rested. As the day unfolds, you are invited to practice release gently, not by reliving what hurt you or trying to resolve it, but by naming it without judgment, quietly acknowledging, "This is heavy," and allowing that honesty to be enough for now, because release does not require understanding, only willingness. Trust begins to grow when you stop negotiating outcomes in your mind, and instead let simple moments be enough, like eating slowly, walking without rushing, or choosing not to respond immediately when your spirit feels crowded, remembering that delayed reaction can be alignment, not avoidance. You may notice that when you stop chasing clarity, it starts arriving in fragments, in a sense of calm where anxiety used to sit, in a decision that no longer feels urgent, in a night of deeper sleep without explanation. And this is how receiving often begins, quietly, without spectacle. You are invited to let God handle what you cannot see, especially the timing, the connections, the unfolding that feels just out of reach. Because doing less does not mean nothing is happening. It means something deeper is being arranged. As you move through your days, allow yourself to choose what nourishes rather than what impresses, what steadies rather than what stimulates, trusting that discernment does not shout, it settles. And if you feel the old urge to strive returning, you are allowed to return again to stillness, again to breath, again to the truth that your role is not to carry the whole story but to stay open within it. You do not need to understand every step, predict the outcome, or manage the arrival of what has been promised, because what is meant for you will come at the appointed time, without force, without strain, and without you having to become anyone other than who you already are. As this message comes to rest within you, let it be known that nothing you felt while listening was random or misplaced. Every emotion that surfaced, every quiet recognition, every moment of relief or heaviness carried meaning and belonged to this moment. You have not been late to your life, you have not missed your window, and you have not been overlooked, even when it felt that way. The searching, the waiting, the inner tension, and the longing were all part of a living process that has been unfolding with care, not urgency. What you have walked through has shaped you without disqualifying you, and where you are standing now is not a pause caused by failure, but a season shaped by wisdom. There is nothing wrong with the pace you are moving at, nothing broken in the way your story has unfolded, and nothing forgotten about you. You are held within a timing that is steady and intentional, and even the parts that felt confusing or silent were not empty. You do not need to keep reaching or proving or holding yourself upright by force anymore. It is safe to soften here, to trust that you are being guided even now, and to allow the weight you have been carrying to loosen its grip. You are not alone in this moment, and you never were. As the words settle, you are invited to remain right here in the quiet space that follows, and allow the stillness ahead to gently hold you as we move into the next moment together. If it feels safe in this moment, you are gently invited to leave a few words in the comments, not as an explanation, but as an offering of what you have been carrying inside. A hope, a wound, a worry, an unanswered question, or something you have never found language for. Writing it down can be a quiet act of release, a way of placing it before God, trusting that He sees, hears, holds, and leads you in His perfect timing. If this moment feels meaningful, you may also share it with someone who might need the same tenderness, and subscribe to remain connected to these sacred pauses. You are not alone, and this moment is being held in the presence and grace of God.